Unlock your full potential with Brain and Focus, a powerful supplement designed to boost mental clarity, enhance memory, and sharpen concentration. Made from a blend of scientifically proven ingredients like ginkgo biloba, omega-3, and essential vitamins, Brain and Focus is crafted to fuel your mind. Our process ensures maximum potency and effectiveness, delivering the perfect balance of brain-boosting nutrients. Take just one capsule daily, as prescribed by your healthcare provider, and feel the difference. Whether it's powering through your workday or staying sharp in life's challenges, Brain and Focus keeps you at the top of your game. Stay sharp, stay focused, and stay ahead with Brain and Focus. Brain and Focus, fuel your mind, achieve more. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
Yes,
I asked her how she sings so good. I knew she grew up. I said, "Why are you so sober?" He started laughing. I grew up in the United States, and I knew you got some states up in your ass.
Shout out to Spikes who managed to pull Karun in the studio. Okay, Spikes, we see you. You did good.
How did you get those people in? How did you get those people in that studio? Spike's got some famous people up in there, man. Like that Tesla. That Kenya Tesla lady, he had her up in there. He had a famous actress. I forgot her name. She's famous in Kenya. She grew up like in Nigeria, and she was also she's Kenyan though, but she spent a lot of time in Nigeria. She was a famous actress. That's how you get up people up in there in that place.
Yeah, crazy. Shout out to Spikes, man. He's the OG for real. Shout out to Spikes. Real OG. But of course, Caribou is again to everyone live with us on the radio, YouTube.
Going on, Emil.
BitChute. Shout out to Emil. Everyone, of course, who shall be catching this on a replay. Hope you guys get to enjoy and, of course, leave your comments. If this is your first time, subscribe.
I tried to leave I was driving. I tried to leave a comment. You guys talking about the black tax and that. Irritan did a video that almost explains your whole life.
Yeah, man. Shout out to that lady. I saw that video. She was like, man, I had to cut my dad off. I think she went to this. So like, I had to cut my dad off completely out of my life and block him because this guy's been exhausting me, with manipulating me with, black tax and all that. I don't even have my life together. So I just had to do this. And I'm like, yeah, man, you shouldn't feel... I'm the wrong person to ask her advice what to do because I'm gonna tell you step, big steps, step big as much as you can actually disappear. If you can go to another country, change your number. This it will drain you the moment they see they have not contributed into literally you being okay or in your life. But once they see you, you're doing great. Oh, my daughter, I'm your daughter now. All of a sudden. I might curse you. I never want to see you. Forget if I'm your dad, I'm your mother. My daughter, please. I'm starving. I'm also starving. I'm also starving. I'm also trying to find something to eat. Please leave me alone. Come on. So Africans, I really love the way Africans are waking up to that because so many people will die literally in poverty trying to save their families as well. Like you're just working.
That's great.
About your family, prioritizing your family. And actually, this is why we have so many women and why we have so many divorces, maybe I'd say in Africa, is because you'll find some women who their priority, especially if they find a man who's well off, they're gonna drain this man every penny, every single coin. They're gonna drain you. They're gonna put these are the people who come with this list of dowry that's so expensive.
Next time I'm in Africa, don't think you're gonna drain me. I'm not the one. I'm gonna hurt your feelings. Think you can give me dowry? Dowry about what? What is that? Well, you give my parents money. I'm not giving you or your parents a damn thing. Good luck.
All the medical bills are gonna be piled on you. Everything. So
I don't mean
say no. Literally, you're gonna be exhausted. For me, I remember the last time when I went to the village was when I was burying my aunt, and then I remember I bumped into some aunties.
That's how you went. Was the funeral, wasn't it? Was the funeral? Yeah. Was it after that?
Yeah. So I remember literally I met this auntie of mine who was mistreating me when I was young. Then she's like,
Yeah.
my son has just finished school. He's in Nairobi. He has no job. Maybe you can help him get a job. Excuse me. Let's post. Then the next minute I'm receiving messages of, our medical bills have what?
Yes, right. This is your medical bill. You out of here. You, people are absolute. That is absolutely crazy to me.
You've not seen me like in years, and then all of a sudden you're talking about hospital bills. You sound crazy. What you do
It's how
is it
it's how crazy. It's how crazy that she texts you that shit.
what you do to do is hit that block button. If you hit the block button, there's no way you're gonna, you know, it's not gonna contact you. Where? Contact me where? Block or ignore
You bet,
them.
you bet, you better do the shamanic delete. I block and delete.
Exactly. For family, I'll do that. No cap. Block and delete. Block and delete. I don't tolerate that bullshit. But Karibuni is a family. Today we shall be having an interesting conversation, rather a fun one. We shall be taking us a little bit into history as we check onto. I remember you guys just, I think 2, 3, 4, or last month or January. There's a time we were talking about, the slavery food, and we were talking about why you guys love the pig food and
Oh, Bigfoot. That was like a couple of months ago now.
yeah,
I never
because
forget because I never forget I was in Carolina asking those guys if they eat pig food. Yeah, I grew up eating pig. I know. I know in LA you see girls. You just always see the finest girls with the pig. I'm like, man, oh man, what's with that? I'm
the
not eating
nose,
that.
you can see even the nose and all that. Oh my god, that's so
The pig
disgusting.
nose, the pig butt, pig stomach,
It's the
pig
most
gut.
disgusting thing. But again, if I
Just
try look
like
at the
just like it said on that anchor walk wall, right? We read all that pig and stuff right on the walls, anchor walk.
it's crazy, but it's understandable trying to see where the history literally comes from, all the way back from slavery. But god damn, I mean, I'd rather eat to porridge. I'd rather drink the mash, the mash,
don't
the mash.
don't knock pig foot until you put a pig foot in your mouth, Joby, and tasted the whole thing.
Hell no. No. Hell no. Hell no.
Get it?
I hope I didn't pass through that. I hope I didn't. I would in my life. I hope I was not in America eating some pig food, some
Yeah, you
nose.
did. Yeah, you did. Had the whole foot in your mouth. Nah, nah.
Yeah, that's
And then you ask for seconds, Joby. Can I have more, please? Well, there's only so many pig feet to go around. We already told you. No more pig feet for you.
But yeah, so today we shall be taking us literally all the way down that history and much more, looking at during Jim Crow's moment, how Black people were surviving literally in terms of, cooking, coming up with different recipes. When you talk about the times of slavery, also itself, where we had the chitterlings, that is the intestines, if I'm
That's
not
what
wrong.
that's it. You eat that garbage. You eat that trash.
I'm not
Ah,
eating
God.
it. No big intestines.
You
Hell
eat
no.
intestines, Joby. Whatever kind of ones you eat. Now, I don't know if it's,
I'm not eating them in
uh,
a minute, though.
beef.
It's in a minute.
Yeah, it's
It's
just
in a minute.
that doo-doo shoot. Yeah, I never
Mhm.
ate them. Never ate them in my life. Of course, going up like American at family, because you smell them like, oh my. And then I married a Southern woman whose family ate that shit. I'm supposed to be up there. Okay, you from the West, you don't eat these things. Yeah, I don't eat them. What? That whole house stinking. Whole
Mhm.
house stinking. I'm like, God dang. Yeah, I forgot, Keith. You're too uppity. You're from the West Coast. You don't do this. No, I don't. I don't. I don't
Mhm.
eat pig and I don't eat doo doo. I'm allergic to doo doo. Excuse me.
Period.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm allergic to doo doo.
All
I'm
right. But
allergic to doo doo and period blood. I'm sorry. I'm good.
oh, man. I don't know what period blood did, but anyway, as you can continue, it was just chilling. It was just chilling. Anyway, so love that. Usually, we just share the video. I love the way this lady literally was breaking down everything. Took my time with this video to understand everything. And I'll share the next one about the cheetah links, and then also share how most of the Black American cooks, how they were being treated, what they went through, the recipes they came with. Literally, it's something interesting. So basically, that's what we shall be talking about today. As you maybe put down,
chitlins is American bush meat.
So yeah,
I urge you right now to turn off this video if you're hungry, because we're about to talk about a lot of food and food history moments in Black American culture. What juicy morsels amazed an 18th century Scottish visitor to North Carolina? How did a 20th century Black cult leader feed the hungry? What Black-owned restaurants have been powering the people for decades? Which Black-owned restaurant doubled as a stop along the Underground Railroad? How did a Black woman in the Jim Crow South help keep the Montgomery bus boycott from going broke? And which religious organization encouraged Black people to give up meat while also serving meat in its restaurants? Let's talk about all of this and more in Black American food history. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Black people have been contributing to and reshaping this nation's food landscape pretty much since the beginning. For instance, the modern method of barbecuing comes from an exchange between indigenous people and enslaved Africans in the Caribbean in the 16th century. A once enslaved woman from Ghana named Duchess Charity Quamino was known as the pastry queen of Rhode Island for her frosted plum cake in the early 18th century. After gaining her freedom, she started a catering business. Pause
it, Joey. She's from Ghana. Okay, you moron? You pretendians? The lady was from Ghana, was enslaved and brought to America, and she said she lived in New Hampshire. She was from Ghana. It wasn't Ghana back then, probably the Ashanti or Khan Empire, but she was from that region, the Gold Coast of Africa, okay? She wasn't a pretendian. She's from what they call Ghana, okay? Go ahead, Joey.
The strength of her frosted plum cake. But what about when America was officially founded? George Washington.
Maybe as we continue, you guys can break down a few relatable points with most of these foods and today, the difference in, because I think over the years, there's also changes how white people have tried to take completely full food control of our recipes, trying to claim our recipes. So as we continue, maybe you guys can also give some few examples of the difference of food back then and today.
The slave owner had Hercules Posey, whose cooking was so good that he was allowed to sell plates on the side. This endeavor earned him around $200 or nearly $6,000 a year in today's money. He later ran away, and documentation turned up showing that he lived out.
Yeah, remember he ran away, and George Washington spent his whole life trying to get this slave back when he ran away from wicked-ass George Washington, the first president of the United States. You're like, oh man, the place is wicked.
The chef in New York.
Remember George Washington was the one pulling slaves' teeth out their head to make him fake false teeth because his teeth were so rotten. Remember, they didn't make so. Yeah, Joey. He took your teeth out your head and made teeth out of your teeth to put in his head.
These people's behavior are just wicked. Having your tooth removed, especially without even the pain reduction injection, I've had a gap because I can imagine just the tooth being, oh my God.
By the way, the picture floating around online when you search Hercules' name has actually been determined to not be him. James Hemings, the enslaved brother of Sally Hemings, was the first Black chef to study in France due to the insistence of his enslaver, Thomas Jefferson. James was only 19 and also became fluent in French and was literate. By the time he was 21 years old, he was running Jefferson's kitchens. Though he died by suicide at 36, his cooking was alleged to be the source of many recipes culled by the Jefferson estate over the years. While Hercules and James are two of the most known enslaved chefs, there were many unnamed cooks who created masterpieces against their will. Experts who comb the receipt books, aka early recipe books kept by white women, noticed that the earliest books were filled with European recipes, but by the 1800s, African-inspired dishes were appearing. Back in Africa, many cultures had diets heavy on veggies, if not completely vegetarian, though there were definitely meat eaters. West Africans
Exactly. We meat eater, but the majority of African diet was vegetables. We ate meat, but very little. We didn't eat Europe. We didn't eat all this bloody meat. It was mostly vegetables because we had to have an alkaline. Our diets are mostly alkaline. Go ahead, Joe.
And Jolliffe would become jambalaya. A Scottish visitor to North Carolina wrote that enslaved people were the only people that seemed to pay attention to the various uses that wild vegetables may be put to. While being a chef,
Do you guys have jambalaya today? That's the question I wanted to ask.
Yeah, jambalaya. Yeah, jambalaya. That's what we're gonna be having at the restaurant in Dar es Salaam. Yeah, I didn't know jambalaya came from injera. I didn't know that. Yeah, jambalaya is a famous New Orleans, Louisiana dish, Joby, where this is from. Very famous in New Orleans and Baton Rouge and Shreveport, all that area where the Southern slaves got off in New Orleans. I mean, in the Louisiana area. Jambalaya. They serve jambalaya at Popeyes.
Is it the same? Is it the same as dirty rice, or is it different?
Look, pull it up. Say jambalaya. Now, jambalaya. Dirty rice for us. Dirty rice is called that's Cajun rice. Dirty rice is called Cajun rice. So that probably came from Africa. I don't even know about. Yeah, I love Cajun rice, but Popeye stopped selling it. Man, I just love that Cajun rice. Man, they stopped selling it like last year. Say, hey, what y'all doing with the Cajun rice? We don't sell that no more. But they only sell it in Louisiana now. Only the Popeyes in Louisiana sell that what Joby call dirty rice, which is Cajun rice. You gotta call it dirty rice. That's the slang, or Cajun rice coming from Louisiana. Because Louisiana, Popeyes is a creation of what? Louisiana Southern cooking, Joe. That's what Popeyes comes from, Louisiana. It's a Southern cuisine fast food restaurant.
Yeah,
so,
it can
jambalaya.
It contains some shrimps in it. I don't know if these are shrimps or but I shrimps. Maybe other people put in some sausages or whatever you do.
Yeah, sausage, shrimp, jambalaya. I didn't know that came from Africa. Wow. See, you pretending morons. Even your dishes are African. We're not African. We'll come African. The food we eat. I didn't even know. I didn't even think about jambalaya coming from Africa. Be injera, whatever they call. I never had injera. I didn't even know that. Wow, that's crazy. Okay.
Afford enslaved people a degree of autonomy and power, and even sometimes extra scraps of food, the work was grueling, as was all enslaved labor. The kitchen was usually located right next to the big house and stayed open for visitors, meaning chefs had to be on call and at the ready. Rest and privacy was rare, and they were forced to deal with hot and less than ideal equipment and frequent heat. The New Orleans sadist and serial killer Delphine LaLaurie, famously depicted in season 3 of American Horror Story, was alleged to keep her enslaved chef chained to the oven. One of the most persistent myths about slavery is that enslaved people were well fed. You know, people say that when they want to talk about how there were poor white people at the same time.
That was a lie. They never kept Africans fed. That's a lie. Go ahead.
Only is the well-fed argument a pathetic excuse for the bondage of human beings, it was an untrue one, wrote food historian Michael Twitty. While prized or skilled workers may have received more food, enslaved women, in turn, received reduced rations during pregnancy. Elderly men too old to work might be completely denied an allowance, and children were largely fed on mush that was filled with parasites and chips of wood. This is why
whoa, pause it! They filled parasites and chips of wood. They filled the slave children, women and boys and girls, wood, parasites, and call it mush. That's what we seen on the Little Rascals. I want no more mush. See, I thought mush was like that porridge shit, right? But they got parasites and wood chips. I mean, wood chips and parasites. This how wicked. how wicked these people are. It's crazy.
Yeah,
They're
because
wicked. Good,
when
Joe.
she mentioned the march, I remembered exactly that video you've shared with us a couple of times, where these
Yeah.
women and men being fed, being given on their hands, and
Yeah. Bush.
crazy.
Narratives of the enslaved sometimes reference food fantasies and food theft, and why historians have talked about women braiding food like rice into their hair for emergencies in the case of starvation. Adrian E. Miller wrote that most plantations rationed out food thusly. Once a week, the enslaved got 5 pounds of some starch that could be cornmeal, rice, or sweet potatoes. They got a couple of pounds of smoked, salted, or dried meat, which could be beef, fish, or pork, whatever was cheapest, and a jug of molasses. And that was it. The enslaved would stretch this food as best they could and supplement with hunting and farming if they had the time and space. Oftentimes, they didn't. The persistence of malnutrition and poor eating habits would continue after slavery into the sharecropping era. Sharecroppers were often forbidden from growing their own sustenance on the land they rented and worked. So in addition to being locked into scammy contracts with mounting debt, workers bought overpriced and highly salted products from white landowners and shops. Most sharecroppers relied on diets of cheap, highly salted pork, cornbread, beans, and molasses. As it was during slavery, it wasn't uncommon for adults and children to suffer from health issues like pellagra and rickets. While enslaved people toiled in bondage with underwhelming diets, there were early Black restaurateurs like the Oyster King of New York, Thomas Downing. His fine dining establishment, started in the 1820s, catered to white people like Charles Dickens and even Queen Victoria, with oyster dishes like stuffed turkey, scalloped oysters, and fish and oyster sauce. The Queen enjoyed the food so much that she sent Downing a gold chronometer. Today, that would be like the equivalent of gifting a Rolex. At the time, oysters were a very common food not associated with wealth, and oyster bars were all over New York. But Downing's place attracted fancy customers because he had a chandelier. Meanwhile, the basement of Thomas Downing's oyster house served as a stop on the Underground Railroad.
Yeah, railroad. Hold on, Jim. Hold on. You know, all the white people said, this nigga got a chandelier up in here.
Apart from a piano, a chandelier was also a problem.
Right.
In 2001, amid bottles of wine and molasses, they found shelter from the bands of blackbirders, bounty hunters roaming the streets in search of runaways.
I think they burned this restaurant to the ground.
Could not eat in Downing's restaurant. They could gain freedom through it. With his restaurant earnings, Downing also funded Black schools and desegregation efforts. When he died in 1866, he was very wealthy and popular, and New York's Chamber of Commerce even closed in his honor. I doubt he would have been so popular if they would have known about the basement of the Oyster House.
Yep, waffles.
A very important reality from the Jim
Chicken and waffles, baby.
Era, the romanticization of slavery.
I told Nish we got to have chicken waffles in Tanzania. That's a staple. Y'all know I'm from LA, so we know we got, Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle House in LA. We got to have the, chicken and waffles is a staple in Black America. Go ahead, Joe.
And the stereotyping of Black people didn't leave the realm of food untouched. We can think about how Black people were forced to travel long distances without being able to stop for food, making, quote, cold sandwiches, fried chicken, slices of buttered bread, hard-boiled eggs, a little paper of salt and pepper, fruit, and a slice of pound cake, ideal lunches to be packed in shoeboxes and rationed out throughout the trip. If Black Americans were lucky on their trip and had an up-to-date copy of the Green Book, they could stop at newly established and humble eateries like Jones Barbecue.
Pause. So you guys know, everybody knows the Green Book was a certain book that was created to let African Americans know where they could go and where they couldn't go. But most places we were never allowed to go. So if you were traveling from one part of the country to another part of the country, you would buy that Green Book to let you know what was the friendliest place to stop where you can eat, because we weren't allowed to stop nowhere and eat in any of their restaurants. So we had the Green Book to keep us from getting shot or hung, Joe. So we got so we had to have that book. So that was for safety reasons. So we wouldn't be, going the wrong place. What you doing in here, nigga? They're gonna hang you. What you doing? They chase you and hang you and they eat you. So the Green Book was to let you maneuver, Jovi. Say if you was coming way from New York and go all the way to California, so you better have that Green Book. Because you stop at the wrong place, the wrong time, that could be death for you as a black person. This
Like a
country,
map.
yeah, exactly like a map. Well, it's a map of telling you where you can go, where you can't go, what establishments are friendly to you and which ones are not. Stay
Yeah.
away from it. You know,
Yeah.
the ones that's not on there, you stay away from. You don't go like you don't show up unannounced at no other establishment, yo.
Okay. Thanks for explaining that. I would not have understood, but yeah, thank you for explaining that.
But there's a movie called The Green Book. We probably didn't watch it one time. It's a movie called The Green Book. Came out a few years ago.
Okay.
It's founded around 1910, and it is the oldest continually operating Black-owned restaurant, still serving its original menu of nothing but chopped pork by the pound on white bread. Another example of Jim Crow's impact on food is the popular chain of Coon Chicken Inn restaurants, first founded in Salt Lake City, Utah in 1925. With Big Red Lips serving as the doors to the restaurant, the place
Look at
was
that.
known for its
Look
fried chicken.
how racist that shit. Got black people, they big lips, our big lips. Oh, come get you some whole chicken, nigga.
Chickens meant to entice white racists looking
Yeah,
for
white
slave
racists.
chicken and service.
That's right.
The menus,
Slave chicken.
toothpicks, napkins, and decor had the racist cartoon, giving patrons a laugh and making them think they were getting authentic fried chicken from the people who fried it best. However, as a
made it.
former employee would recall, black people weren't allowed to serve in the kitchen. Instead, they were servers, which meant they had to deal with racist jokes and harassment. For some workers, the extra stress was worth it, seeing as many waiters brought home
I'd smack you with the chicken on your face. You're making jokes. Oh my goodness.
100 to 200 a night in tips. A former employee remarked that insults and jabs didn't go unpunished. He told historian Psych A. Williams Forson smugly, just don't mess with the people who bring your food. These niggas eating spit chicken. While racists gorged themselves on chicken of questionable quality, black chefs were honing their crafts and capitalizing on them. Restaurants like the aforementioned Jones Barbecue Diner and Patillo's Barbecue in Beaumont, Texas, opened in humble shotgun houses and backyards. Black women in rural train stop towns worked as waiter carriers, whipping up hot biscuits, chicken, and coffee to hawk to passengers.
There used to be a restaurant called Nigga Joe, right? that didn't go down to the 1950s. My mom used to. I said, what? Yeah, there's across the whole country called Nigga Joe. That was a fast food restaurant like McDonald's and KFC today. Nigga Joe. Hey, you going to Nigga Joe's? What?
Story of mine is
Nigga.
Prince's Hot Chicken Shack in Nashville, Tennessee, which began serving its signature dish in 1945. The restaurant was started by James Thornton Prince, a serial cheater and womanizer whose girlfriend got so angry with him that she cooked him fried chicken with hot pepper as revenge. But Prince liked the chicken so much that he and his brothers developed their own recipe and opened the Chicken Shack. The chicken was so popular and close to the
Black
Grand
people
Ole
like that
Opry.
spicy shit. Black people love spicy. Like, I can't stand that spicy shit.
Auditorium that a separate room for white patrons was built. They had to walk through the main dining room and the kitchen to get to their special little room. From the 1920s through the 1960s, Baltimore was the home of the Afro-American Cooking School, which was free for students and supported by the Afro-American newspaper, who viewed cooking as a marketable skill for job seekers. The Afro-American Cooking School also provided educational cooking materials and live demos for cooks and housewives. In 1932, the school held an exhibition attended by 4,000 people. During the toil of the Great Depression, the school was generous enough to give away free samples and entire boxes of food. Another source of food charity was the controversial cult leader, Father Divine. And before somebody comments saying otherwise, yes, he was a cult leader. The man claimed to be the living God and told his followers not to get married or have sex, even though he married a white woman. But anyways, that's beside the point.
Who the heck is Father Divine? I never heard of him. Who the heck is this and where was this at? You guys heard this Father Divine? You know it's the old times, 40s and 50s. What state was this Negro in? This is a sick. I'm gonna do the Malcolm X book. This is a sick Negro here. This is a sick Negro.
away free samples and entire boxes of food. Another source of food charity was the controversial cult leader Father Divine. And before somebody comments saying otherwise, yes, he was a cult leader. The man claimed to be the living God and told his followers not to get married or have sex, even though he married a white woman. But anyways, that's beside the point. We're moving on. Beginning in the 1920s, his organization, the International Peace Mission,
that was the 1920s, man. That's my great-grandmother's 1920s. That's 100 years ago. We don't know that guy.
Communion banquets where followers, and later those just hungry during the Great Depression, could eat and listen to sermons. When Father Divine wasn't available, diners were treated to recorded audio while they ate their meals. The Peace Mission also built and operated dozens of hotels, laundromats, and grocery stores, in addition to restaurants. Mission restaurants in the 60s detailed $2.50 Louisiana Gulf shrimp and boiled tenderloin.
From Louisiana. See, I told you, we used to own all our own stuff. We owned nothing now. Back in the 20s, owning all grocery stores. We owned all our stuff because we were segregated. We owned restaurants. We owned all this stuff. Now we don't own nothing. Thank you, MLK. Get out of here with that MLK stuff to me. Go ahead, Tim.
And $3.25 jumbo Australian lobster tail. Though Father Divine was passionately vocal against the black issue of lynching, he rejected the theory of race, and as a result, his cult and businesses were integrated. They also didn't allow tipping. The last dining establishment owned by the International Peace Mission, called Keyflower Dining Room, closed in Philly in 2006. Also happening in the early 20th century was the Great Migration, which brought many Southern dishes and chefs.
Wow. That's all the way up to 2006. That's amazing.
Population swelled with Black Americans and immigrants, brought new flavors to the Manhattan streets.
Leaving the South. People say, I gotta get out of the South and going to the North. Go to Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, DC, Baltimore, Detroit, Indianapolis. All places all going out west. We either went north or we went out west to California and parts of Arizona. So some people went up north, some people went out west. My family went out west, went out to California area. Go ahead, Joe.
Stewart remarked that walking the streets meant being hit with aromas of buttered biscuits, candied sweets, and rice baptized in sausage gravy.
Biscuits. That's Popeyes. See, sausage gravy. Oh man, I love the buttered biscuits from Popeyes.
Eateries that provided newbies a taste of home did especially well. There were Jamaican curries mingling with New Orleans crawfish bisque and pig's feet and chitlins. Many of these dishes were
pig feet, and they with the pig feet, Joby. Get it while it's hot, Joby. Pig feet.
Oh, no.
Available at infamous rent parties, where Harlem residents held informal apartment events for a few coins. Guests would be treated to lots of live music, dancing, liquor, and food. Other common dishes served at these events were stewed cabbage, Hoppin' John, fried fish, and cornbread. Rent parties were also popular in Chicago and among other Black enclaves in urban areas. By the way, I can't leave from the early 20th century segment without mentioning George Washington Carver, who, yes, found over 300 uses for the peanut. But did you also know he found over 100 uses for the sweet potato, including a sweet potato bread recipe? It was published in the Afro-American newspaper in 1939. The civil rights era definitely had a lot to do with food. Like, when we think of the places that were demonstrated in for integration, many were restaurants and lunch counters. In Washington, D.C., from the 1940s to 60s, most of the dining establishments were white only, despite the city's non-Dixie status. This included government buildings like the Department of Justice cafeteria and the Federal Reserve Bank cafeteria. Black workers had to deal with long lines at the few eateries available to them. This, of course, meant that the few Black eateries flourished. Restaurants in Northwest D.C., now called the Shaw neighborhood, benefited from the area being a bustling pit stop on the Chitlin circuit, overflowing with jazz culture. A series of anti-discrimination probes led to the discovery of a 19th century law banning discrimination in D.C. restaurants. And in 1953, restaurants in D.C. were integrated. 5 years later, the famous Ben's Chili Bowl was opened by Trinidadian immigrant Ben Ali and his American wife, Virginia. Their popular chili came slathered on dishes like burgers, hot dogs and fries, and they served up great pies and cakes. The success of Ben's Chili Bowl was tied to the success of other Black entrepreneurs in the area. Said Virginia Ali, "We found the architect, the contractor, plumber, the electrician, and the cabinet maker, all African-American owned businesses right here in the neighborhood. We were their customers for the duration of their careers." The restaurant also became the site of historical events. In the aftermath of the 1968 unrest that followed Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination, Ben's Chili Bowl was allowed to stay open despite a 3-day curfew and served Black activists along with firemen and police. Many other restaurants played a role in Black activism in the 60s. New Orleans' Dooky Chase, started by a jazz musician named Edgar Dooky Chase in 1936, became world-renowned for its Creole-style soul food after initially being a lottery ticket and po' boy stand. When Edgar married his wife Leah, a chef with experience in fancy French Quarter restaurants with a bunch of family recipes, the joint began attracting politicians, musicians, business people, and activists strategizing in the area. Even though New Orleans was segregated, the food was so good that the city begrudgingly turned a blind eye to Dooky Chase's integrated dining room. While many restaurants serve typical Southern food like catfish and greens,
They always want our
you can
food.
also get
They always want our food because we're the best cooks. Exactly. And they don't really want integration. They want to be able to eat our stuff, but also disrespect us and put us on the bottom because their food always tastes like garbage.
fancy dishes like butter-fried quail with grits, or Creole specialties like shrimp, clam, and chew. In case you're wondering, that last one involves shrimp, potatoes, mushrooms, and peas in a rich broth. I need that. Until her death in 2019 at 96, Miss Chase cooked and supported Black causes. In Atlanta, James and Robert Paschal opened a 30-seat lunch counter in 1947 that grew in popularity and relocated to the Atlanta University Center by 1959. Initially known as Paschal Brothers, the restaurant got rave reviews on its chicken, cobblers, and collard greens. The area was usually devoid of white people, but the restaurant's famed food eventually attracted them. The restaurant was very popular in part because it had an atmosphere for everyone. There was both a formal dining area as well as a casual lunch counter and grill. Paschal's restaurant was also friendly to homosexuals and seated whites and blacks at the same tables, despite colored-only business and liquor license. Not only did Paschal's employ as many Atlanta University Center students as possible, but it also attracted civil rights leaders. Everyone from Fannie Lou Hamer to Martin Luther King Jr. to Andrew Young to Lonnie King dined at the restaurant, which often fed organizers and rank-and-file members alike for free. James and Robert Paschal were even known to provide bail money for protesters. One of my favorite Black food stories involves a magnificent woman down in Alabama named Georgia Gilmore. A local reverend described her thusly: "She didn't take any junk from anybody. It didn't matter who you were. Even the white officers let her be. The word was, don't mess with Georgia Gilmore, she might cut you." One of her sons described her as an equal opportunity name caller. Everybody was heifer or whore to her. This included the various civil rights activists she fed throughout the years, like Martin Luther King Jr. He loved her pork chops and stuffed bell peppers, her roni, and rice. In the early 1950s, she was working at the National Lunch Company, where she was known for her amazing food. When the Montgomery bus boycott began in 1955, she was very involved. She brought food to church organization meetings, carrying along picnic baskets of chicken sandwiches and pies for sale. Then she, along with a group of other enthusiastic cooks, began what would become known as the Club from Nowhere. As supporting the bus boycott meant purchasing a lot of gas and servicing a lot of cars, a lot of money was needed. Miss Georgia's delectable food brought in the big bucks, around $1,400 a week in today's money, even from unsuspecting white people who bought the food not knowing it was going towards the Montgomery Improvement Association. In March 1956, Georgia Gilmore testified as a defense witness during the MIA's court challenge of segregated seating on buses. The National Lunch Company fired her in retaliation within days. Fortunately for Georgia, MLK was on her side. He gave her money to buy necessary cooking equipment so she could run a restaurant out of her home. In addition to selling food to members of her community, she hosted dinners for MLK and Lyndon B. Johnson, and MLK and Robert Kennedy. JFK once even munched on her chitlins and sweet potato pie aboard the Air Force One. Georgia spent her life feeding people, especially activists. When she died,
But sweet potato pie, yes, we bring that to Africa. Sweet potato pie, I'll make millions on these Negroes in Africa eating that shit.
preparing chicken and potato salad for people marching for the 25th anniversary of the March on Washington. Mourners at her wake ate the chicken and potato salad in remembrance. Speaking of the March on Washington, organizing for the event included getting food together for hungry marchers who were directed on what to pack and eat for the long and hot day. They were told, be kind to your stomach. Don't eat or drink the wrong foods in the wrong quantities. Because many marchers were poor, nearly 80,000 bag lunches were prepared by a slew of volunteers. Most were made at Riverside Church in Harlem by hundreds of volunteers for 2 days and 2 nights. These lunches were 50 cents each for marchers and included a cheese sandwich, a pack of mustard, an apple, and a slice of marbled or pound cake. Another little-known Black food history story comes from Mississippi. During the 1962 to 1963 Greenwood food blockage. At the time, Greenwood was a voting and civil rights battleground. The LaFleur County Board of Supervisors, all white, abruptly decided to end its participation in the federal surplus commodity program, in which the federal government bought surplus food from farmers and distributed it to the needy in welfare programs. Black locals, who were already not getting enough food as it was, made up at least 90% of the recipients. Around 20,000 Black people were therefore set to go hungry. Mississippi NAACP President Aaron Henry.
Mississippi is still as racist today as it was back then. Nothing's changed in Mississippi today. Mississippi still as racist a state as it was back then today. And we just did the story last year with how the policemen went up there and raped these dudes, black dudes, and then they were burying Black people in the back of the police department in the Capitol in Jackson, Mississippi. They got a graveyard full of Black people that they murdered and buried out there. It's crazy. Go ahead, Joe.
With the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee and a coalition of smaller civil rights organizations to create Food for Freedom in a month's time. Food for Freedom utilized a food network with people from, quote, Los Angeles to Chicago to Ann Arbor to New York City, and also supplied meds, clothing, and donations. Noted activist Fannie Lou Hamer was just one of many everyday people who used her home for food distribution through the Food for Freedom program. Comedian Dick Gregory helped bring national attention to the cause, and the blockade ended as a result in March 1963, with the Board of Supervisors sufficiently pressured into reinstating the surplus program. The quick assembly of a food program in the face of retribution for daring to mobilize Black voters had an especially great effect. A large number of Black people ended up registering to vote. So let me bring up Dick Gregory again. Later, after the food blockade ended, he was a major proponent of vegetarianism and later veganism. He was just one of a small but growing number of Black people endorsing plant-based diets. Outside of Rastafarians, the earliest and most vocal group advocating for plant-based diets was the Nation of Islam, which was founded in 1930. By the 1960s, Elijah Muhammad was urging Black Americans to let go of soul food and especially swine, saying that Black people are by nature vegetable and fruit-eating people. The Nation also started a lot of businesses and produced and provided its own food to market under its economic plan. Of course, the food most linked to them are the popular bean pies, which along with bean soup and fresh vegetables were popular sides for their meat dishes.
That's true, but we were taken away by the beast. We had to eat the beast diet. We are naturally vegetables and fruit eaters in Africa, but we messed up. We ate the beef. We got the beast diet. Now we're walking around the street with pig feet in our mouth. Ow.
Black Americans usually only got meat from cheap cuts of pork used for vegetables or pork fat used for frying, but not actual meat entrees. For example, in Coming of Age in Mississippi, Ann Moody detailed her bland and unfulfilling diet of peanut butter biscuits, beans, cornbread, etc., in comparison to the meat-rich diets of her employers. When her mother rejected money from her estranged father, Ann was pissed because she notes that the money could buy them meat instead of beans to eat all the time. The luxury appeal of meat meant even the Nation of Islam couldn't dismiss its lucrativeness. Though the Nation encouraged people to give up meat, it still produced poultry and beef to sell in its market and restaurants. When it eventually opened a formal dining establishment, Shabazz Restaurant in Chicago, the menu included baked chicken, roast beef, Salisbury steak, and the finest in salads, vegetables, and desserts. Even still, as those of us living in the 21st century can see, plant-based living would eventually take hold. Celebrities who gave up meat for secular reasons, like Dick Gregory, would only make vegetarianism more popular. More Black vegetarians and vegans followed in the 70s, like Ruby Dee and Cicely Tyson. I hope y'all enjoyed this brief journey.
Yep, I hope you did enjoy that. What does that really remind you? You know,
I know Ruby Dee and Cicely Tyson became vegetarians. Okay, I had no
what does
clue.
remind you? Starting from slavery, you can see there was the chitlins, which I'm about to share the next video, of course.
They mean never mind. They still eating that shit today.
You should stop eating the
That's
pig food.
that's soul food. They still eating it today, Joey. Today.
Stop eating that though. You need to stop eating
I
that.
don't eat it. I ain't never ate that stuff, Mom. I can't eat doo-doo, yo. Stuff that smells like doo-doo. I can't eat. And no matter how you cook it, you can't get the smell out. I've never tasted it in my life. Ever.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so shout out to that lady. I love the video personally. The way she broke it down from slavery to Jim Crow to civil rights, literally to today's century, where you can see how.
And that soul food will kill your soul. That soul food will kill you. Give you diabetes, hypertension, blindness. It's all comfort food. So it's comfort, but we made it so delicious with the macaroni and cheese and the barbecue. It's so long. I ain't talking about that chitlins crap, but it's so Black American soul food is so damn delicious. That's why it's so known all over the world. It's comfort food. So, but it will comfort you into a grave.
But I don't think personally. I don't know if I eat macaroni cheese every now and then. I don't know how often.
I get some good macaroni cheese. Hey Joey, I get some good macaroni cheese. You'll go to the graveyard, dig your mom up and slap her in the mouth. It's so good. Mom, why you never told me nothing about this?
That's a funny one. Personally, I don't like macaroni naturally. I was even doing shopping.
It ain't macaroni is not the same as macaroni and cheese, Joey. Completely two different animals. Let me tell you, Joey. Macaroni has nothing to do with macaroni and cheese at all. I don't like plain macaroni. I don't like plain macaroni either. But you make it into macaroni and cheese, and it's a whole nother animal, Joey. It is.
Well, I need to get that.
When you get some good macaroni and cheese, Joey, it's better than sex. Like, oh man, what's happening around here?
Okay.
Better than sex, Joey. Better than sex.
Okay, I don't know about that, but okay. If I find someone who knows how to make it well, maybe I might love it because I'm not a fan of macaroni, not a fan of tomato.
Oh, your macaroni, it ain't nothing to do, Joey.
It's okay.
Stop thinking. You think about macaroni and cheese has nothing to do with macaroni, okay? Nothing.
Okay. All right.
So when we make the first batch in Tanzania, we're gonna make sure you eat it. And don't be surprised when you get up and smack your money in the mouth. Smack! What was that for, Joey? Because it's so goddamn good.
But also see, let me go to the comments before I get started. Shout out to everyone in the building. Karibuni sana. Today we're talking about the soul food, literally, and taking us a little bit back into history and where majority of this soul food originated from, the recipes and all that. So shout out to Jiba. He said, my dad loved pickled pig's feet. Oh my God.
Put it in the pickle jar, Joe, the pickle pig. I told you they ate that. They had a pig with pickle, Joe. Pickle pig feet.
Like that. Guys, everything where pigs walk. Maybe the American pigs are kinda maybe clean, but pigs here, I'm not taking no pig.
No, pigs are dirty animals, Joey, no matter where you find them.
Yeah.
They're dirty, filthy animals. Yes.
And the nose and all that, especially the nose.
All in, be rolling around and doo-doo and all kind of stuff.
Emil
They are filthy, disgusting animals.
Emil says he's eating red beans and rice as he watches.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, red. That's red beans and rice. I wonder if that came from Africa too. The red beans and rice.
Mhm.
I wonder what that. That's a Louisiana soul food dish too. Red beans and rice.
Shout out to
Look that up.
Jason.
See, I don't know where red beans and rice came from. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Emil says not pig food, but as a cook in the Navy, I used to
Uh
make
huh.
chops a lot. I couldn't stand it, so the other cooks now do it for me. All right. I also see Jiba say that they taste better when you suck the meat off the pig's feet. Oh my god.
That's what they used to do. They was sucking the meat out the foot. Ah.
So crazy. Oh no. No, no. That's insane. Ew. That's disgusting. Jiba also says chitlins stick up the whole house. Stink up the
Stink
whole
up,
house.
stink up the whole house, and not. I mean, for days you can't get that stink out of it. You're boiling doo doo. Like damn. Oh man. Oh. And then they sit around and always got like a bottle of hot sauce and be eating that. I see my wife's whole family stink. I said, man, it stink up in here. Ah, you uppity kid, you Western Negro. They get to have a bowl of that shit there. They hot sauce. They put hot sauce on that shit. I'm like, oh my god. Whole house smell like doo doo. Oh man.
John Mosquito Karibu said Najib also says, remember the 10-pound red bucket of chitlins?
Yeah. Yeah. They still sell them. They still sell them in certain grocery stores. Jibba Jabba. They still sell them. They still sell the big old buckets in the South. I don't know about up north. I ain't been up north in a while. Down here in the South, you go to the grocery store and it's in the Walmart grocery store. Walmart got a whole aisle in them bucket of chitlins down here in the South. I'm like, look at it, especially for like Thanksgiving. I'm like, look at all these damn buckets of this shit and shit. Oh man, man.
Mountain oysters in a
Hold
jar.
on, Joey. Do this for me real quick. Say, go to Google. Say images. 10-pound chitlins from Walmart. They're gonna be in that red bucket. 10 pounds bucket of chitlins at Walmart.
Oh,
They
man.
sell that stuff in the South. You see it? I know you see it. All right. All right.
The images I'm seeing of even the people's reaction, like what they hate.
They're like, "Woo, see, you got the red bucket." They got the red bucket.
Oh,
Look at that red bucket, Joey. Woo! Look at this Negro's face. Ooh, oh, look at that nigga. I'm about to eat me a whole bunch of chitlins, Joey. About to eat me a whole bowl of doo-doo. Yeah.
my.
Eat me a whole bowl of doo-doo.
I come to your house cooking me this shit. I'm not.
You'll never find that junk in my house. Never.
You better cook me ugali. I'm not eating none of that shit. You better tell me to come with my pack of ugali from Kenya then. Oh my god. I'm gonna well. I'll package it very well.
You ever called it right? The red bucket. They still got that red bucket. Do you remember it? Hell, I see it every damn time I'm in Walmart. What you mean do I remember it? they ain't gone nowhere with that red bucket. Go ahead, Joe.
To Danny Harrison, Karibu Sana, he says, I want some smoked turkey necks, buttered beans with okra. I don't like that okra shit, man. How do you guys do okra?
That okra's from Africa. That dang.
I know,
It's all slimy. I don't eat it. It's all slimy. I don't eat that shit either, Joe. I don't eat that. I never even tried it because it looked funny. I'm a picky eater. it look all slimy. I ain't never had okra in my life. It looked weird, so I never ate it.
Well prepared, but the way
Nah,
it was,
I don't care how you prepare it. It looks weird. It looks slimy. Nope. I'm not never trying it.
well, for us, we
Just like
understand certain
just
slimy.
like just like crawfish. Down in South they love it, them damn sea roaches. Yeah, them little shrimp things you like, them crawfish, those number the roaches of the sea. My wife, they go again, be in the South. My wife and her family, oh, you gotta suck the head off them. I said, that's a big ass roach. What are you talking about? Man, I ain't kissing you. Go wash your mouth. Got me all the way messed up. Nah, I ain't never seen this. If I eat this in LA, nah, I never had this. Nah, hell no.
Yes. You
But
see,
I go, yeah, go wash your mouth. Don't kiss me with that mess.
I like my shrimps. I like the
Look that
rasta.
look that up, Joe. We say the images of crawfish. Images of crawfish. They take a whole bunch of them and put them on the table, Joey. They have lemon and they eat that. They eat it with peanut. Was it peanut crackers? Peanut things you crack peanuts with. Called crawfish.
I like me some shrimps. I like me some
Yeah.
shrimps.
See,
I
see
like
that? See all
nah,
them
this is
things?
nah, I'm not eating
There you
this.
go. See that?
Nah,
That's,
nah. No.
that's
This is no. I say
They
no to this.
pour it out on the table and they eat it like it's the best thing in the world. I'm like, nope, I'm not eating none of that. You crazy?
Nah,
They take, yeah, that's it right there. They put there. They got the lemon. They got the hot seasoning with it. Boy, they cooking it. You have a whole table full of black people eating that. They grab the head and suck the head. Go. I said, man, I'm not eating none of that shit there. Y'all got me messed up. How much you got? How many of you guys have tried crawfish? I know Unsucker, when you from the South, you from Florida. You know you had that damn. Come on, Unsucker, one. Tell the truth and shame the devil. You know you ate these damn. You know you ate these crawfish. Who's had crawfish? Let's be honest. I ain't never had them ever. My dad, my dad, white families eat this stuff all the time. What? You said, I don't eat crab. You don't eat them either? Okay. You don't eat them. Okay. Okay. You had them, didn't like them. But we're from LA. Jason, we didn't have, unless you're farmers. I never seen that until I got to the South. I didn't know what it was, like a bunch of roaches to me. Like, what is this? You don't know what crawfish are, boy. See, that's that Keith, man. He's the uppity Negro. I'm always the uppity Negro. I'm the uppity. I was like, I'm like, what's this stuff here? That's crawfish. You never had no crawfish in LA? I said, I never seen this in my life. Man, you never seen I never seen this in my life, ever. I ain't never seen this. It's like a bunch of plate full of roaches. What is this? I'm not eating this. It got me messed up in the head.
So I also see Jiba Jaba Ali was also saying Washington horseman froze to death holding his horse when he's so cold. Let me read that again. Washington horseman froze to death holding his horse when he so cold crossed the Delaware.
Delaware River. Yeah, so that was during the war when he was fighting the British. So he left a black man to hold his horse who died out there holding it. So tell him get in to get warm. He died out there holding washing his horse.
Mm-hmm.
I let that horse go. Damn your horse.
Mm-hmm. I also see Jiba Jaba say the black man on the railroad created Bisquick ready-made cooking flour. And
Did he? All right.
Yeah, I also say ready-made pancakes mix too was
We
created
made
by
pancakes. Yeah.
railroad chef. Pittsburgh had a restaurant called Sambo's into the 80s, changed it into the Sam's. And then,
Yeah, I remember Sambo's. Sambo's was around when I was still a kid. It was the 80s, called Sambo's. Yeah, I remember because they had them in LA too. It's called Sambo's. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know calling us the derogatory term. We had Sambo's in LA and California.
Yes, so says mom worked at a Woolworths lunch counter in the 40s.
Woolworth. You guys remember Woolworth? Can you believe? Woolworth is still in Australia. Even though Woolworth went out of business in America, they still got. Years ago, I was in Australia. I said a Woolworth, and they got Woolworth in Africa too. Because I seen Jovi and them go by Woolworth in Tanzania. I said, God damn, that's a Woolworth. I thought they went out of business completely. I know they in Australia. But I seen Jovi and Katie when they was in the mall. They was filming something, going to get something, and they walked right past them. I said, that's a Woolworth? And there's a Woolworth that exists in damn I said, wow, there's a Woolworth that exists in Africa. Woolworth still exists. Do this for me, Jovi.
Mm-hmm.
Say Woolworth. Say WOOLWORT in Africa. I know they're in Tanzania. I don't know if they're in Kenya, but I know they're in Tanzania. I seen Jovi and Katie walk right past. So I was like, damn, that's a Woolworth. It blew my mind.
It's also in Kenya. I see Kenya. I see Google.
See? It's in Kenya. See? Woolworth. See, we think Woolworth. We don't even know Woolworth. I found that it still exists when I went to Australia. I said, this is a Woolworth? It still exists? Because they all went out of business in America. I seen Jovi and Katie go fast. I said, that's a goddamn Woolworth. What? In Africa? Dang, what?
I remember something like this on the mall. Yeah. I remember. In Tanzania, it is. No, this is South Africa.
And so they know they're in South Africa too. Yeah, so Australia usually always in South. So, damn. So remember, Woolworth was one of the biggest stores in the world. They closed. So they still in South Africa. They said Africa and Australia and other places. That's amazing to me. I'm like, why I just seen Katie and Joey walk. I said, that's a damn Woolworth. What? In Africa? We don't got a Woolworth in America no more at all. There's not one nowhere in America. But I guess they flourish in South Africa and Kenya, Tanzania, Australia.
Mm-hmm. I also
Wow.
see him, he loves spicy foods, especially Korean seafood, noodles and soup. I also see, shout out on Sankenon, Karibu Sana. I think you caught up. You are asking what are we sharing. You already know what's up. We're talking about soul foods. I also see he said, hold them chitlins, but I'd go for some sweet potato pie right now. Okay. And I also see Jiba says I can eat sweet potato every day. All right. That's something also I want to try. I want to eat that too. Apart from macaroni, cheese, sweet potato pie.
Don't say macaroni cheese. Macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, I also see.
Sweet potato pie, Jovi. You'll love it.
All right, I'm waiting. I'm here to have all the taste, literally. I'm a foodie now. I consider myself one. John was
I know, I can see.
You always going to say, didn't they also advocate intermittent fasting? Intermittent? I don't know about that. But I also see Emily says, yes, Mississippi is racist as F. I don't know why Maurice Muhammad wanted to do this campaign there as a
he wanted to build a whole because I think he lives does he live in Tennessee? I think he lives on the Mississippi-Tennessee border over there somewhere. But let's go buy a whole one of them old abandoned raggedy cities in Mississippi and rebuild it, and a bunch of black people go there. Out of your mind. Man, I'm not going to racist Mississippi is. Let's go build a whole black town. So now we gotta be fighting. Now I gotta be fighting these white people again. Nah, I'm good. Go build a whole because it's cheap. Yeah, it's cheap because there's nothing running in Mississippi. It's all broken down. Yeah. I think Mississippi is the poorest state in the country. Look this up, Joe. Say is that West Virginia or Mississippi? if Mississippi ain't number one, it's number two.
I asked
Say,
what?
ask is Mississippi the poorest state in the United States? MISSISSIPPI. Is Mississippi the poorest state in the United States? If it ain't, it's number two. Number three. It's between them, Louisiana, or West Virginia.
They're saying yes, it is often considered the poorest.
Exactly. Hey, I consider it. So why the hell would I want to build a town full of black people down there when you got no what jobs are they gonna have? What are they gonna create in Mississippi? The white man is still so racist there, he's not gonna let you develop no jobs. I don't know why black people still live there. I'm like, what? You still choose to live in Mississippi? That's your choice? Man, I've been in some parts of Mississippi. I've been in some parts of Mississippi. You think you were 200 years ago. I've driven past some shacks that I like and seen barefoot Negroes looking like they were still enslaved in Mississippi. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Go to the Mississippi Delta. Go to the Mississippi Delta. You want to see some real poverty, Jack. Slavery poverty. You're like, wow, this still exists. You ain't left this place. My mama was here, my grandpapa and granddaddy been here all this time. The church down the road, and we got good pig feet, and we got good chitlins. Why would I ever leave? Okay, good luck to you.
I'm just gonna switch to the chitlins. Of course, as much as we've talked about it. Then the last video I'm gonna share is of the chefs and literally most of the things they had to go through to come up with these recipes, the slavery that they went through. So let me start with this one, the chitlins. Buying a whole bucket of this bullshit, you're fucked up in there.
Joey, what'd you say? Say that again. What'd you say?
Buying a bucket full of this bullshit. Very fucked up in the head. Like, oh no. I think especially the pig one. Nah. Give me a cow. Like a pig? Hell no.
Chitlins, also known as chitlins, are a type of food made from the small intestines of a pig. They are quite popular in different cultures around the world, but they hold a special place in the hearts and minds for African Americans. So let's talk about it. If you like stories like this, you can find more stories like this.
Don't hold no special place in the heart and the mind of me. I ain't never ate them. They don't hold no special place in my mind. That makes you understand.
Jiba seems like he used to enjoy the sweet, the
pig foot. Yeah, the pig foot. So you imagine a young Jibba Jabba looking at TV on the sitting on the floor looking at TV with a whole pig foot in his hand, sucking on it.
Oh my goodness.
Jibba Jabba was in heaven. Jibba Jabba will fight you if you try to take his pig foot.
Okay, but without further ado, let's get started. The word chitterling was first documented in the English language around the year 1400. It was spelled chitterlings. Linguist Paul Anthony Jones pointed out
the name came from the Europeans. Wow, and that's so good. So the name came from these dastardly Europeans. So General Mosquito probably ate them some chitterlings over in England. You dirty nigga, you.
100. Chitterlings referred to a fancy type of neck ruffle. It's possible that the name came about from their frilly edges resembled the internal folds of an animal's intestines. The earliest origins of chitterlings trace back to the Middle Ages in Europe, particularly in the United Kingdom and France, where they formed an integral part of impoverished peasants' dietary repertoire. During this period, less desirable parts of the pig, including the intestines, were left for the consumption of the poorer classes, while the upper classes ate their choice of meat. This was a matter of necessity, as the idea of waste was not a concept that could be entertained much during the Middle Ages. During
Couldn't
that
throw
same
away no
time period,
food. Couldn't
cooking
waste no
chitlins was
food.
a labor-intensive task involving washing,
So
boiling,
that's why
often
we. That's
frying.
why we. That's where we got it from. These no good bastards. Wow. We eat this garbage. Oh man, it's straight from England. Go ahead, Joe.
It's crazy. I'm trying to look at it and then understanding that this came from them, and then looking at the Bible, their false Bible. In their false Bible, we're told not to eat actually the pig. We're told
That's
not.
right.
We're
Not
told
to
not
touch
to.
it. But when you're poor, Joby, like they told, that's what the presents. You gotta eat what you gotta eat. You ain't got time to be choosy.
A beggar does not choose.
That's
Able to be
right.
consumed. They were often boiled with onions and covered in a sauce made from a broth. In 1743, the British cookbook entitled
Sounds
The Lady's
disgusting.
Companion or The Infallible Guide to the Fair Sex included a recipe for calf chitterlings. This dish was essentially a type of sausage that contained bacon and oval, which is a variety of internal organs of an animal, all
Ugh.
inside the casing of a calf intestine. The reason was given for using calf intestines instead of the
I don't eat bacons. I don't like bacons at all personally.
usual pig intestines was because the recipe was meant for the summer when pigs were not commonly slaughtered. This recipe was later shared by Arthur Hannah Glass in the famous 1784 cookbook, The Art of Cookery. Meanwhile, in Asia, chitterlings were adopted into local cuisine with a variety of preparation methods and seasoning, and in keeping in
Thanks.
regional
So when they
culinary
conquered
standards.
Asia, they brought. I know. So when they conquered the Asians, they took it over there too. Wow. Ugh.
In China, for instance, chitlins had been cooked for over 1,000 years, and they were often used in stews, braises, and in stir fries. While chitlins were familiar to some cultures in Africa, they were primarily introduced to the diets of enslaved Africans in the Americas during their
Exactly.
enslavement.
Exactly. We know nothing about that
Plantation
chitlin stuff. Get out of here. We know nothing
owners
about
would
eating that doo doo.
often slaughter pigs for their meat, reserving the premium cuts for themselves. The leftover parts of the pig, feet, the head, the heart, the neck
That's right.
bones,
The
and the
feet, the
intestines
head.
were often given to the
The black
enslaved.
people.
Hence, chitterlings or chitlins became a regular feature on the tables of the enslaved.
They go to these
Unlike
feet.
other
And they
soul
go to these
foods
feet.
that had a common lineage in Southern
Right. Soul
cuisine,
food.
chitlins remained strong ties to their African heritage. This connection stemmed from the West African tradition of eating all edible parts of plants and animals. These foods helped maintain the enslaved survival in the United States, and they were forced to rely heavily on chitlins because they were both cheap and readily available. To make the most out of less desirable parts, the enslaved will often slow cook or boil their chitlins, usually adding inexpensive vegetables. This was an effective way to get many nutrients out of the meat as possible. Even though their diet was mainly filled with carbohydrates, this process shows how enslaved people were resourceful in making the most out of a tough situation and provides their resilience and ability to create nutritious meals out of leftovers. The preparation of chitlins would then evolve into an art form. The meticulous task of cleaning, preparing, and cooking. The cooking method was often slow and designed
Yeah.
to
Cause you
tenderize the
try
tough
to
meat
clean that.
and
Try to
salt
clean
to
that
enhance
doo doo out of it. Try to get that doo doo out of there.
flavor with
And like
already
Jimmy
available
Jabba said,
seasoning
had the whole house stinking. Had the whole house stinking with that shit.
such as onions, garlic, chili, and
Onions,
vinegar.
garlic.
These
Oh
cooking
man.
methodologies witnessed an evolution over time was based on the ingredients they had on hand or regional leanings, displaying the creativity and adaptability of enslaved Africans in the face of stark adversity. In the post-emancipation era, popularity of chitlins continued despite
See that
segregation
mac
among
and cheese? Had
the
that mac and cheese over there with the chicken.
many restaurants serve chitlins as a part of their range of dishes, now referred to as soul food.
Soul
Chitlins
food.
became a staple in many African American homes and often had a special place at the table during holiday periods such as Christmas or
And
New Year's.
Thanksgiving.
This is
That's
not
right.
simply because it
Holiday
was delicious,
time.
but it's also
Yeah.
because it carried a powerful message of hope, good luck, and wealth for the coming year. Chitlins was not only about food, but about family unity, which made them a favorite dishes at family reunions and community events. These occasions were a great way for older family members to show the younger ones how to prepare chitlins, thereby
I'm good. You
ensuring
ain't gotta prepare me how to prepare no doo-doo. I'm good.
Particularly during the civil rights era, chitlins found themselves at the heart of African American social gatherings, family celebrations, and festivals. Chitlins was so closely linked to Black culture that it was once an informal collection of entertainment venues mostly attended by Black audiences called the Chitlin Circuit. Today, young people have a wide variety of food available and may not feel as closely linked to chitlins. Some may view it as a symbol of poverty and wish to separate themselves from this aspect of their diet. Chitlins also would become associated with slave food. This happens because a person's wealth and social status was determined by the part of the pig which they consumed. Initially, the enslaved and later poor individuals often ate pig's feet, the stomach,
Right,
or the
pig feet,
chitlins because they were
pig,
cheaper, but they also
hog
were
maw.
physically lower on the pig. People with more means, on the other hand, generally ate the pricier portions of meat like the back or upper
And the
leg
chop.
of the pig. And this is where the expression high on the hog comes from, because it
Yeah.
literally meant
Mean
rich people eating physically higher
of the
portions
hog.
of the hog. Moreover, people were now paying attention to their diet and how that affect their health. Chitlins were known for their high caloric and cholesterol content and have been
Right.
linked to health problems such as obesity and heart disease.
And
These problems were
diabetes.
prevalent in the African American community, leading many to steer clear of traditional dish like chitlins, comparing them to unhealthy foods and sugary drinks. Also,
Yes.
preparing chitlins is a extremely time-consuming process and not conducive to the quick-paced lifestyle that we now live. Tasks like cleaning intestines can take hours, and it's
That's
challenging.
right. We don't have time to clean out doo-doo and then eat it. We just don't.
Who prefer a faster and more ready-to-eat meals. Chitlins also stir up discussions about identity and history. They are so deeply rooted in African American culture. Some
Of
view
course
them
it
as
is.
a sign of resilience and a way to stand up for social justice, while others view them as a reminder of the stark reality of slavery. While some people have distanced themselves from chitlins, others are exploring new ways to prepare and enjoy them.
They're not
I'm not.
letting
I'm not. I'm not trying to discover no new ways to prepare doo-doo. I'm good.
they're not letting that go. They're like, nah, this is soul food. This is a part of me.
Whatever they want to do. It be like I told you, put your soul right in the grave. Right. Hypertension. You go blind. Hell, you got to cut up your own foot. Now you're not eating the pig foot. You eating half your foot because it got cut off because you've been eating that doo-doo. You go blind. You got hypertension. You got diabetes. I'm not eating none of that shit.
Crazy. And this is why it's so good to learn history, literally, to understand why some of the things we do today, where they came from, you know.
Of
Some
course,
of
it is good. I didn't know the chitlins even came all the way from Europe. That wow, they was eating that nasty. We ate forced us to eat it. They was eating that nasty stuff because they was all poor. So they was on poverty. So that was their diet. They couldn't throw that was their diet. We didn't eat none of that shit in Africa. So, but shout out to Tin Speed. You're right. He said some of his family would hide the chitlins when they had family gatherings. They didn't even want to share them.
that. Damn.
Damn, it wouldn't even share your doo doo with nobody. This is my doo doo.
Stop calling it that way.
No, the intestines is where the doo doo goes through when you go through your colon. That's the doo doo tract. So that's why they got to. That's why they take. Let me say they got to do meticulous cleaning because they cleaning the doo doo from it. It's like I told you, can't eat them intestines is the doo doo tract. That literally, that's where the doo doo goes through. That's why they stink. You can't. You cook them things. I don't care how long you clean them. You start cooking like man, you can't clean doo doo out of something.
And in Kenya, I know we do the chicken ones are prepared.
Yeah.
We have the apart from the chicken ones, we have the goat, the the
No matter
cow.
what, no matter what it tastes you eating, it's still doo-doo, Joe.
But yes, let me share this next video as we
Good.
continue.
In 1784, a young man by the name of James Hemmings was torn away from his family, sent to France to master French cuisine, and then upon returning to Virginia, he became Thomas Jefferson's enslaved chef. And this story is just one in a disturbing pattern, because for centuries, Black cooks fueled America's culinary rise, but rarely saw recognition or the rewards. They labored on plantation kitchens, their skills stolen,
Without
and
any
their
credit.
contributions erased. But
Of course.
their legacy lives on, from barbecue to soul food. So today, we can unfold the untold stories of Black cooks who shaped American cuisine. And if you like stories like this, you can find Let's Get Started. To appreciate the history and the impact of Black cooks, we must journey back to the rich culinary traditions of pre-colonial Western Africa. Even though historical records from the era remain limited, vibrant ingenuity of these culinary practices remain evident in the ingredients and techniques that enslaved Africans brought with them to the New World.
Right.
In Western Africa, the art of seasoning and saucing was paramount. Cooks skillfully
Exactly.
deployed
Season.
diverse array of spices and flavorful pastes, elevating each dish that they crafted. This culinary alchemy was perhaps most evident in American barbecue. Historical accounts like the one from Michael Twitty suggest that
That's why your best barbecue is always in the South. It came from your best barbecue cities of Memphis, St. Louis, and Kansas City. Those cities are known as your barbecue capitals in America. Memphis, St. Louis, and Kansas City. Then maybe
Pepper
Chicago
sauces.
up north. Go ahead, Joe.
Heavily influenced by African traditions. Remarkably, even the term barbecue itself could possibly have African roots. While it is said to come from the term barbacoa, it possibly could have derived from the hustle word baba cake, which also encompasses various cooking techniques similar to grilling and slow cooking. The expertise of these African cooks also extended to food preparation, smoking, and seasoning techniques that will become the cornerstone of Southern barbecue. Although the
Told you, father. Southern bar. I told you the best barbecue came from the South. As I said, Southern. I didn't see this video. Southern barbecue became the known thing throughout America as the best barbecue. Southern style African barbecue. So it has its roots again in Africa. See, what are you pretendians talking about that you can see the traditions coming from Africa? And you keep telling me about your cultures here. But you can't tell me, you can't show me nothing that we do that came from you Negroes as Indians. And we see everything that we do goes back to Africa. This is absolutely crazy. I don't want to argue with you crazy bastards. Go ahead, Joe.
Shallow pits was not common in Western Africa. The art of smoking meat was. And this evolution highlights the multicultural origins of Black cooks and blending African techniques with New World elements. Beyond barbecue, the presence of enslaved Africans in the New World also revolutionized rice cultivation.
Now, no, but I say rice.
Like
pause it there, because I'm about to say there was no rice making with you pretendians, okay? We know rice came from Africa. It's a fact. So we know cultivation of rice came from Africa. So you pretendians wasn't making any rice here in America. All these cultures you say you don't know nothing about, you're not African, everything you eat comes from Africa. All these traditions, maybe except corn, but rice making became one of the big business, was directly made from Africa because the white man didn't know how to make it. You need the African that he stole how to cultivate and make it. Became $1 billion crop. That came from Africa. Rice. You can't argue that with me. You sound crazy. Damn sure didn't come from none of you pretendians. Go ahead, Joe.
These Africans were selected for their expertise in rice farming.
Exactly.
In colonial South Carolina, English colonists were unfamiliar
South Carolina, Georgia,
but were heavily dependent on enslaved Africans to teach them how
to exactly. They were unfamiliar with it.
Rice. This turned rice into a profitable enterprise.
Right. The white man, exactly. I said that the white man didn't know how to make rice. that came from Africa. Taught them how to cultivate, how to make it so we make billions of dollars of business again for these savages. They don't know how to make no rice. But that's $1 billion business that they stole from African people, showing them how to grow it and cultivate it. Rice production was not here in the Americas. Sorry, you pretendians. Go ahead, Joe.
Influence, turning places like Louisiana into prolific rice producers.
Exactly.
Their knowledge not only
Billions of dollars.
transformed agriculture, but also inspired culinary staples such as jambalaya and Hoppin' John.
Jambalaya. So that's why jambalaya would be come from Africa as whatever it's called. What's it called in Africa? Whatever it's called in Africa. But so the rice and the thing. So that's where the jambalaya came from. Well, they just added. Of course, it took on its own distinct flavor here in America, but the beginning of it starts in Africa again. Go ahead, Joby.
Western African cuisine stand as a testament to the lasting influence of African culinary traditions in the region. Enslaved Africans' traditional diet consists of ingredients like corn, sweet potatoes,
corn. Now, I'm gonna ask one of you pretending morons. Why does our diet have nothing to do with you Indian Negroes? Where's the diet of the Indian in our day-to-day culture today? Where's that at? I'm waiting. Every time we ask you guys, what's your language? Where's the diet? You said you was already here and they enslaved you. Okay, then that means your diet would have still been intact. How's a diet coming 5,000 miles away in Africa is now the majority of the diet here today amongst black people? So you was already here. Why is it not your diet is sacrosanct and the diet we eat? Because you weren't eating chitlins here in no damn America, you pretending Negroes. Where's your diet at? The majority of diet soul food is African from Africa. Where's your diet? It's non-existent. You can't show me nothing we eat that came from none of you pretendians. Where's the diet? You said you got caught and the white man got you on your reservations here. Okay, cool. You don't know none of the languages. You can't trace back none of your languages that you spoke. Okay, cool. But what about the foods? Your foods wouldn't have changed. Your foods would have still been the same, even if you were enslaved, because you were here on this land. And whatever you ate, you would continue to eat. Why we got foods coming from Africa? Since you say no Africans came from Africa. Make it make sense. Most of you are morons. You're absolute idiots. That's why I'm arguing with you. I want to know what exactly right, what is your diet? You pretendians can never, y'all on TikTok, you're not an Indian, you hate African people, you're not an African, then where the fuck is your pretendian diet? I don't eat no Indian shit here. None of it. Everything Joe is saying is stuff we eat came from Africa. These are facts. There were no Indians eat no rice and jambalaya. Huh? So where is your diet at? Because you would have kept it. You lost your language, we get it. You were enslaved, you lost your language, but you would have never lost what you were cooking. You wouldn't have lost that. Because especially being put from this landmass, that same diet would have kept you alive. But we see none of your diet. Nowhere. None of it. None of it. Go ahead, Joby.
Beef and legumes. When thrusted into plantation life, these ingredients became the foundation for adapting African culinary practices to the new challenging circumstances. In these kitchens, slave chefs transformed European dishes using African flavors to create unique fusion that was born out of necessity and resilience. These plantation kitchens
exactly, and we know that why everybody likes African American food because of the spices. Those spices they knew from Africa. Not you pretendians. African food is known so well in America because of the flavors, how enriched the flavors are, the spices and all that stuff. Why they love it, why it can be sold everywhere on the planet because of the spice. That was no pretend. That's none of you guys' shit here. That's all African cuisine again. This be crazy. Go ahead.
For culinary exchange, melting pots for African, European, and indigenous influences. Despite the oppressive environment, Black cooks were entrusted with crucial culinary tasks, from toasting meats to crafting intricate seasoning pastes such as red pepper, which was a staple of Western African cuisine, found their way into Southern dishes, melding their ancestral knowledge with available ingredients, weaving Africa's rich flavors into the heart of Southern cuisine. Culinary historian Michael Twitty would note
All
that
right,
they
Southern
melded
cuisine.
African and North America. Beyond the kitchen's confines, cooks were also versatile, tending gardens, visiting markets, and utilizing scraps to feed livestock. Their ability to cultivate food in small gardens and catch fish was invaluable and saved their enslavers money and added another layer to their essential presence. Meal gathering in
Pause
slave
that joke for a
quarters,
second. Let me
however
say,
brief.
pause that for a second. Yeah, just be a lot of my family said they were Indians. Remember, it was the hate against African. No one wanted to be African because we were on the bottom. So they thought it was some benefit to being Indian. Everybody's a damn Indian. But but they can't change no Indian traditions. What's the language? Okay, we'll try to give you some. They'll give you the Cherokee or the Choctaw. Okay, what's their tradition? Name me how far they go back. It's always fake. It's always some because they don't ever want to be African. You know. Okay, let's do our DNA ain't real. Okay, let's do an ancestral test. It's even better. And all their DNA always takes them right back to Africa. I don't believe this. Okay, then whatever. Go ahead.
Offered a slight reprieve from daily oppression and became a crucial site for culinary exchange and community building. During this period, the prowess of Black cooks was advertised, with some receiving formal training in French culinary techniques. Their expertise heavily sought after by wealthy families in cities like New Orleans and Mobile, and became integral in curating New Orleans cuisine. Louisiana and the Gulf Coast, Black cooks ingeniously adapted local ingredients to birth iconic dishes such as jambalaya and gumbo. For instance, traditional African jollof rice evolved into jambalaya, while Akari
so that's what I was thinking. See, that's what I thought became. They said something else. That's what I thought became a jambalaya, that jollof stuff. I said that. I think that came from that jollof stuff, jambalaya. I think jollof rice. I think jambalaya comes out of jollof rice. That's what I said. They said some other things first, Joe. We said in the other video, but that's what I believe were jambalaya came first from jollof. That was all up and down the western part of Africa. They bring it over here and they add more to it, and jollof becomes jambalaya. You know. Go ahead, Joe. What you say?
The other videos will say the same. Maybe you didn't.
Oh, that's what it's. Okay, I didn't. Okay, that's what. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought it came from. The jambalaya was from jollof, right? An updated version of jollof rice. Being here that we would add some more stuff to it, and then it became jollof rice. I mean, not jollof, but jambalaya.
Its adaptability, even with scarce resources, demonstrated the ingenuity of using every part of the animal, smoking and curing meats for preservation, and introduced staples like okra and black-eyed peas to the local culinary fabric. One example of French culinary training is James Hemings, who served as a personal chef to Thomas Jefferson. He was trained in the art of French cuisine in the heart of France. Upon returning to the United States, he used his new knowledge and techniques that would influence the future of American cuisine.
Did he create ice cream or something? Did he create? Wasn't this the guy that created ice cream? This damn slave. I know he created some. I can't remember ice cream or something. This slave created. Thomas Jefferson's slave created something. I think it might have been ice cream. It wasn't ice cream. It was something else. Go ahead, Joe.
He would combine French flair with American ingredients to create dishes like mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese. Wow. I know he did mac and cheese. He's the creator of mac and cheese, but something else.
Also, menus and dictating Southern tastes and preferences, they were rarely credited. Instead, that often went to the white mistresses, who were often called the keepers of the keys. They were often lauded for their culinary achievements during this era, yet the presence of black
And we
cooks
know they couldn't cook because they still can't cook. This stuff has got no taste. We have tasteless. Nobody wants to eat it. The chicken is dry and flabby. It has no taste. Has no damn seasoning to it. Unseasoned food. Their food is bland. So they was just still, since these black people were enslaved to them. Yeah, this is my food. Ooh, my food. You made this? Yeah, I sure did. Put their name on black people shit.
In Southern cookbooks, particularly in recipes that were written in dialect or depicted
just like pause that, just like the KFC scam that the white Colonel Sanders, that was a slave woman's recipe. Now, I might not like the slave woman's chicken, but she's the one who made it, not no white man from Kentucky. I'll tell you that. That's a black woman made that KFC stuff. They never got no credit, never got no money. That's $1 billion business globally. That black woman ain't never got a dime for making that chicken. You gonna see some white man from Kentucky. All right, good.
Haitian life. Emancipation would mark a pivotal transformation for black cooks who would shift from enslavement to the dawn of entrepreneurial culinary ventures. This was not merely an occupational shift, but an assertion of freedom and economic independence, and echoed the broader aspirations and upheaval of newly liberated black people. Initially, most black cooks were tethered to domestic servitude, still under oppressive conditions. Many black cooks persisted through adversity, enduring long hours for meager pay, and the threat of violence continuously loomed over these black workers. In West Baden, Indiana, a dynamite explosion at a hotel forced black workers to flee the city. However, the abolishment of slavery offered brand new avenues, allowing talented individuals to emerge from plantation kitchens into public culinary arenas as chefs, caterers, and business entrepreneurs. Their culinary skills, refined over generations, captivated both black and white audiences, especially in the realm of barbecue. Stories like that of Marie Jean and Columbus B. Hill illuminate this dynamic transition. Marie Jean's mastery of large culinary events during her enslavement showcased leadership and creativity well beyond her status. Similarly, Columbus B. Hill was unparalleled in his barbecue prowess. The Greenlee Tribune reported in 1894 that Hill was a colored man who had a great reputation as a barbecue cook. He officiated at more barbecues in the past 12 years than any other man in the Union. From Missouri to the Lone Star State, he baked meat for hungry thousands, and he thoroughly understands business. By the early 20th century, a new chapter had unfolded for figures like Rufus Estes, who displayed his black culinary artistry on the luxurious Pullman trains. Estes' 1911 publication, Good Things to Eat, offered a glimpse at this culinary revolution, a journey from substance to sophistication, underscoring the transformative impact of black chefs on the American culinary landscape. Fast forward to the civil rights movement of the 1950s and 1960s, an alliance of cooks and caterers who offered a crucial yet overlooked facet of activism known as culinary activism. Black-owned restaurants and catering companies not only offered vital centers of community gathering and cultural preservation, but they often embodied the arenas of political resistance, offering hope and determination essential for change. Establishments like Alex Barbecue Heaven or Pascal's Restaurant in Atlanta rose from the sparks of entrepreneurial success to become
pause it, Joe, for a second. Pause it. But we never deal with our own internalized racism towards ourselves. So when we got segregation, we gave up our own restaurants to go to their nasty restaurants, and all our businesses imploded. All our businesses closed house. None of those businesses, the majority, do not exist today. Because we had to go to the white man's ice is colder than the black man's because of our internal racism that we had never dealt with, our internal hate. So when we got segregation over, we abandoned our own businesses for theirs, and they all went under. And like MLK said, it was great for the country because the white man economics got better because segregation, was done with, and our people came over there and bought all their stuff. Because you hated yourself. to believe the white man's ISIS code. And until you deal with your internal racism, your self-hate, you'll always lose. So you lost everything. So the civil rights movement was not a good thing for us because we lost everything. We lost all our businesses. So now we're running around here broke. We're the poorest people we're poorer than the immigrants that they bring in here now. The Afghanis, the Syrians, the Arabs, the East Indians, we're poorer than all of them today. And that was the whole reason, to keep us on the bottom. And I hate to say we helped along with that because, as Joby said, we didn't deal with our internal racism, our internal hate. Go ahead, Joby.
Leaders like Martin Luther King, these eateries were more than just a place to eat, were the heartbeat of civil rights strategy sessions, keeping them away from the prying eyes of their oppressors. At the grassroots level, in Montgomery, Alabama, Georgia Gilmore's initiative, the Club from Nowhere, exemplified how culinary skills could be used as a tool for liberation. Throughout her covert network, Gilmore and her collaborators prepared.
Pause that. You see how they keep throwing the Montgomery bus boycott in our faces? But Malcolm X told you the right thing. Who cares about getting on a white man's bus? Our thing was to have ownership of the bus, to make the money. And we had our own buses. They don't need to teach you that part because this is a psyop. So we're gonna beg to get on the white man. We're gonna beg to get a white man our money to make him richer. Remember when they finally got it to go on the white man's bus, he upped the prices in Montgomery. The prices got he made them even richer instead of supporting their own buses. Right? Because you had black bus companies. I didn't even know about 2 years later that you had black bus companies in Montgomery. So why won't you ride your own and make your own profit? Because you got internal racism. Why am I going to give you money to ride your goopy bus? If I already got buses, I need to support my own people and make my own people wealthy. So they're telling you to glorify destroying our own economy and be happy that we built white people's economy and made it even that much better and kept us impoverished. Now, excuse me, what was the benefit of this boycott then? It wasn't, but that's the fake history, that's the psyop they keep giving us. That's the propaganda, that this was some victory for us to be able to ride on their bus and make them rich while we destroyed our own bus companies by not riding our own black-owned buses. So it's a victory that we got to ride on white people shit and make them wealthier while our own buses went out of business because we refused to ride our own buses because of self-hate. But this is a victory for us. How? Ownership is the victory, guys. Not riding on, not being a customer. That's what they made us into now. We're now customers to everybody, making everybody else rich. That's why we're the poorest people on the planet and the poorest people in America. They want to keep black people as customers and not owners. So what benefit is that they keep trying to make this like this is some great thing? The civil rights movement of Montgomery, the bus boycott is what we did. We made white people richer and made us poor. So explain to me the benefit. If I'm going to be a critical thinker, which you don't want me to be, now I'm going to critically think. So me making white people richer and my community poor is a benefit. How? How is this a benefit for me? Well, you got to ride on them Mr. Charlie's bus. Okay. But I have my own buses to ride on. Yeah, but you got to be close to white people, nigga. But I'm poor now. Yeah, but you got to be close to white people. That was your dream. And now you got it. Remember Martin Luther King's dream? He had a dream and we gave it to you. You're next to us and now you're broke and impoverished. Damn. Somehow this dream is a nightmare, ain't it? Go ahead, Joe.
Yes, as we get closer to winding up, let me finish up
to fund the Montgomery bus boycott, demonstrating the power of food as
the power. See how they make it all great? The power of the Montgomery boycott. That was a failure. So shout out to Dr. Claudia Anderson. That was a failure for us. You've been giving a psyop a lot. Everybody keeps doing the same fake narrative. Man, the glory of the Montgomery bus boycott. They made us poor? Go ahead, Joby.
Meanwhile, restaurants like Duke Chase in New Orleans stood as beacons of hope and strategy under the guidance of renowned chef Leah Chase. Her establishment became a fertile ground for civil rights discussions where activists could gather amidst the warmth of shared meals, feeding their bodies and their spirits. This role underscored the connection between food and freedom. Additionally, Southern lunch counters became battlegrounds for change, where young activists staged sit-ins to highlight racial inequalities. These dramatic displays became a catalyst for both legal and social shifts towards
we're begging to sit in their restaurants and neglect our own. Okay, that was a great thing. So we go in their restaurants, and they're all our restaurants now don't have anybody to patronize them. Yeah, that was a good idea. That worked. It made us more poor. Yeah, it was brilliant because it made us poor. Yep. Let me go to people's restaurants who don't like us. The food ain't even good. They're funny, we don't like their food ain't even good. And so while they in there trying to make it, but they spitting in it. And Joby showed that they're putting the food up in their butt cheeks and serving it to you. You remember that video, Joby? When the man put up his butt?
I remember them eating. That's all I remember. I don't know about the butt and all that. But
yeah, nah, he put in his butt cheeks. He said, it's good. Do this. Okay, do this before we're about to wind up. Joby, we got 10 minutes.
I know.
Okay, so put this video. You don't remember, so let's pull it out.
No, I don't remember. I do remember the video very well. Please, I'm about to go eat, so please don't disturb me. The chitlins have already done enough damage. A whole bucket, please. Get even something a little bit portion of
a whole bucket. That's right. And Jibba Jabba got the color. See, remember the red bucket? Remember it? It ain't gone. It's still the red bucket.
Crazy. But as we wind up,
let's read the comments.
10 Speed Ali also said, even if you totally disagree, check out Dan Colway pulling out the documents. It will be great debate. What are you talking about? I see you saying something.
He's talking about Dan Calloway, this moron who says that slave ships didn't exist and everybody's an Indian, and this idiot grifter, this moron. He's a moron. And I love the way Tariq did him. Okay, well, do this for me, Joe. We're not gonna do that. Do this up. Go to YouTube, say the Tariq video making fun of Dan Calloway. This moron. Dan Calloway is an idiot. He's a moron. Scholarship is ridiculously stupid, not thoroughly researched. I'm not saying no black people were here because we were everywhere, but this moron is just that's just an idiot. I love to debate him, but he's not going to debate anybody real because he's an idiot. Say Tariq Nasheed's video making fun of Dan Calloway. Hey, man. Look at me in my struggle home. You got them all broken, poor. I'm Dan Calloway. See. He's making fun of 10 Speed's boy. Let me see. Oh, is this the video?
Yeah, I'ma need you.
Nah, that's not. That's why he's making fun. You gotta say the one. Say Tariq Nasheed. I'll find it myself a signature. Tariq Nasheed makes fun of Dan Calloway. Hey, family. I'm an Indian. Let me see. Give me a second.
Peace. My name is Haven Bernadette. So today I got to do this video. Oh my God. Tariq done made a puppet of Dan Calloway.
Yeah, he made a puppet of him. Yeah, it's funny.
I have to go to the channel to see it.
And this a guy who hates. Yeah, so Haven Bullets hates Tariq Nasheed, but he's got to give him up when he's making fun of this goofy Dan Calloway, this moron, right? But we did a whole video. It's pumping out this Negro.
Social media. Go to my
social media.
I'm just here to lie to you. YouTubeclicks.com. Period.
Period.
My name is Lame Helligate.
So this would be Dan Calloway in his dirty house on dirt in the background. So this is the one that 10-Speed's talking about. So it says his name is Dan Calloway. He says Han Holloway.
I remember you sharing this video when I was new on Black on Fire, but
yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
So, my dream is to become a legitimate documentary filmmaker.
Period.
But I can't seem to garner the respect that people like Tariq Nasheed has and put out reputable material.
Period.
So basically, I steal a bunch of material from Hidden Colors. I remix it with other nonsense in order to sell my poorly written books that's full of plebiscite babble. Period. Some say I do this because I'm an ugly, light-skinned, troglodyte-looking dude with an inferiority complex. But I say no, that's not true. They say I'm reduced to making asinine clickbait titles in order to trick people into watching my YouTube videos while I babble for 2 hours while racking up YouTube revenue, never explaining anything or getting to the point. I disagree with that too, period. Also,
I'm going to stop it right there. Yeah, I can go watch the rest of this one yourself. This is funny.
Period.
See, that's how Tariq destroys you, cats, because you're not funny. That's why I told you he'll never make a puppet out of me, because it'd be on and popping. So, Dan Calloway he's a moron. I had to give Tariq credit. Dan Calloway is an idiot. His scholarship is suspect. It's all YouTube based. I went to this village, fam, and look, this is black. There's no such thing as slave ships. Did you go to Africa? Did you talk to the people there? These stories are all known in Africa. Slave ships are known. Did you go get the records? The records are there. So, it's just the complete, it's always the audience of these morons that listen to these idiots. His audience is all like half-baked retarded bastards. They're dumb. You can easily get the records, dummy. You can't find no ships. The ships are 3 and 4 years ago. You have been got rid of those ships, dummy. And then turned them into something else when they're not useful anymore. That's common sense. Those are wooden ships, stupid. They wouldn't be around anymore, dummy. So it's just a lack of, and then go to Africa, stupid. You go to Ghana. You think that slave coast in Ghana with all them damn dungeons are made up? You think the ones in Nigeria are made up? You think the ones down in Angola are made up? You think the ones over in Gambia are made up? You can go there, stupid. Period. You can go there and get the information instead of saying you don't believe it's made up. All these period. Don't eat no chitlins, family. Period.
You gotta get that YouTube money. So period.
Yeah, get that YouTube money. Period. Doing long videos. Period. Get that YouTube money.
That's why the see preparation says 2025, 7 days blackout boycott of America by black people.
If you can do it, that's good. I see Joby shows Zimbabwe's doing it. You stop the machine. Don't go to work if that's what you want. If everything's going to move the needle. It might work because they're getting a lot of these illegal aliens out of here. I wouldn't say it would have worked 2 years ago. Most illegal aliens got all your jobs, so that wouldn't have worked. So maybe now it might work. I don't know. So I'm interested to see who's organizing it.
Yeah,
period.
Period. Exactly. Coming to the end of today's conversation. I hope you guys have enjoyed.
Joe, we got 3 more minutes. 3 minutes. Do this real quick. 3 minutes. Do this real quick. Say, say Tariq Nasheed makes fun cartoon. Tariq Nasheed cartoon of Michi X and Taharka Bay. see, this is how Tariq does people when you come after him. He makes a cartoon out of you, making fun, or he makes a puppet out your ass. Say Tariq's cartoon of Michi X, Meeechix, and Taharka Bay. How you spell Taharka? Tarkabey. It should just pop up by itself as you type it on YouTube. You gotta put it on YouTube. The cartoon they make. So these other Negroes, he made cartoons out of them. Yeah, I'm Michi talking crazy. Did it pop up, Joey?
Just a minute.
And also, it was the fat guy. What was his name? Pan African Strikes Back. It's probably just say Tariq makes fun of Pan African Strikes Back. He made him a big old fat bear. Tariq makes cartoon of Pan African Strikes Back. That was hilarious watching it. That was hilarious. Watch it. She said, "Watch it, sucker." I gotta get Tariq credit when he be goddamn filleting these bastards. That shit be funny. See, they can't recover because they're not funny. So when you destroy somebody with humor, you humiliate. It was hilarious. Watch it, sucker. Michi X, he had it talking all crazy and cartoon, talking all kind of fake slang. What's going on with you, bad sucker? You trip, daddy tripping. Like what? Let's see, Joe. Let's see. Yeah, go down where you had it. Go down. Go down. No, Joe, but you had it. Don't click that one. Go down. Go down. Go down. Right there with the cartoon. Right there. Is it the cartoon? Nah,
this is.
Nah. Oh no, that's not it. That's not it. Go down. It's gotta be right. That's it right there. Right here, right there. Yeah, that's part of it. You're making fun of him. So we got the whole cartoon. Yeah, I'm fat, I'm an agent. Fair use, yes. So
still our brothers out in the UK, our brothers out in Africa.
Okay, yeah, so they make it. So he was making fun of him.
The force acting.
You see that? Yeah, he's making fun of him.
Actually,
he's making fun of his fat butt. He's making fun of his fat butt.
Save America.
Okay, last time I checked, drugs are illegal in the United States, which will make all these Pan-Africanists criminals because they're obviously high off of something. This
exactly.
Everybody on planet Earth with dark skin.
He made his booty all big. he made
Your features are the same.
Tariq Nasheed made his booty all big in the back.
Ushino. First of all, Bucci Bear started soul by calling all black people on planet Earth our brothers and sisters.
Too much talking. Where is the cartoon?
Yep.
McDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on this empty farm he had some chicks, E-I-E-I-O.
I don't see it, kid. I don't see
I found it, Joby. I found it. I sent it to you.
Okay. All right. But yeah, as we come to the end of today's conversation, as we wait for Kid to send that video, if he doesn't, we're literally gonna come to the end of the conversation. I see we have 10 Speed who's also saying, that's my boy, Brother Keith. He just got the same good information. So it's good to check everyone out. Yeah, shout out to Big Cheese, Karibu Sana. He made Pan-African Strike Back booty big like Sarah. Oh my goodness. Whatever you guys are talking about. Let me wait for Keith to send that video literally as we.
I'm sending now. I'm sending now, Joby. Calm down. Here comes Joby right now. Joby. Remember, he also got the one of Dr. Umar as a walrus. He got the cartoon of Dr. Umar as a big fat walrus. He got the cartoon of Dr. Umar as a big fat walrus. Oh, damn, let me just send this thing messing up. All right, okay, Joby. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it right there. That's part of it.
As you can see, he has the head of a prehistoric Neanderthal, the brain of a dusty, babbling pervert from Baltimore, and the body of a diabetic South African pygmy. And he's been programmed to do our bidding at will.
You know how I do.
Let me introduce you to someone, Bucci. This here is Agent Hot Day. He's a Frankenstein type of creation that the science.
Frankenstein creation like that. I sent it to you, Joey. I sent it to you, Joey.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Let me check.
He's a Frankenstein creation. You know, he got me. You know, I'm talking about sucking, jive, tripping, turkey. Got to saying like old slangs from like 50 years ago. You jive, turkey. Mother effer. he got what he call a bad body mulatto. You bad body mulatto. He said you be all right if you're a mulatto, but you sloppy with that thing. Your body's sloppy. That's what he said. You sloppy with that thing. You sloppy with that thing, girl. You know your body was cute 25 years ago before you got all that weight on you. You sloppy with that thing. It's a scam. They're making up arguing, okay, Black Americans and the Africans. Yeah, it's a scam.
Okay, let me share my screen.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, Big Cheese. It's a scam. Like what you see happening. You know, it's a psyop. There it is. Hey, Moochie. The recast is crazy.
Mr. Bucci, you do understand that you're now in court for third-degree stalking of a man.
I'm innocent. Just because I'm obsessed with Tariq, that doesn't mean I'm stalking him.
Well, there were several eyewitnesses who said they saw you lurking around the Black History Museum. Prosecution, would you like to bring a witness to the stand?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to call a Mr. Eric Mays to the stand. Now, Mr. Mays, we do understand that you are.
I don't know about that beard. That beard got big booty.
Yes, I'm hostile. I was just trying to enjoy my banana pudding at a senior citizens brunch at the Black History Museum. I didn't know I was going to be involved in some damn case about a big booty bow. Hold up a minute, Mr. Mays. You're out of order. You out of order. That bear's out of order. That ugly man sitting over there with that red hat and that pineapple-shaped head is out of order. Ew. Is that how you do? Mr. Mays, if you engage in another outburst
he's talking about that face head nigga,
I'm going to hold you in contempt of court. Do I make myself clear? Yes, you do. That's it. Contempt of court. Contempt of court. Prosecutor, you want to bring on your next witness, please?
Yes, Your Honor. The next witness is Hollywood actor Morgan Freeman, who happened to be at the senior citizens brunch at the museum where Mr. Bucci is accused of stalking. Mr. Freeman,
Fucking Freeman.
you tell the court what you saw when you were in the vicinity of the museum.
It was a dark and dreary night as I temporarily stepped out of the
See,
museum
Tariq is good with them voices like Joby.
to retrieve a bottle of
Tariq
hot
can do all
sauce
these
for my
motherfucking voices like Joby does.
I briefly came around the corner to the image of a bear with the widest hips I'd ever seen. It was a heavy-set bear. It was a sassy bear. It was a musty bear.
Musty.
And the scent from that bear penetrated my nostrils like the scent of mint julep tea at the crack of dawn on a warm Mississippi morning. But in this case, it wasn't the crack of dawn. It was the crack of that bear's ass that I was smelling.
Objection, Your Honor. This is just a bunch of babble and hearsay. Objection sustained.
That's supposed to be Benjamin Crump. That's supposed to be Benjamin Crump. He got Benjamin Crump. He got Benjamin Crump being his lawyer. That's supposed to be Benjamin Crump.
He was born with a chemical imbalance that makes him attracted to men's. That is why he's built like a hermaphrodite. As you know, California just passed a new non-binary law that allows men to pursue their fantasies without any judgment. In other words, if he has wide hips, you must acquit.
Well, based on these new non-binary laws and this other information, I'm going to have to dismiss the case. Case dismissed.
Exactly. That's supposed to be Crump ass. His big booty. Butt cheeks flapping. He has butt cheeks flapping.
Y'all go find that. Well, let me know if you want the link. I'm gonna show you.
That's the butt cheeks flapping and shit.
That's so gay.
That's what he's trying to make him out to be, Joe. That's what Tariq was trying to make him out to be.
Shout out to him. But anyway, we're coming to the end, family. Thank you so much once again. Trevor has been with us. See you guys, of course, tomorrow, same time, same place, different session. I say Big Cheese says
No, that's not a voiceover. That's Jim Mosquito. You know what? That's Tariq does it. He does Morgan Freeman's voices. That's Tariq doing that shit. He's good with them voices like Joby. Some people are good with accents. Joby's good with them damn accents. Or she could do a South African accent, a Jamaican. She's good with them damn voices. That's Tariq doing that shit.
Period. We're coming to the end. Period.
Period. You never seen Joby do that South African shit? Also that Jamaican shit? Sounded like them crazy South Africans. Shit. Sounded like them bastards.
But yes, much love, family. Have yourself some beautiful day. See you
What's
guys.
up, guys?
Same time, same place.
Thanks, Big Cheese, for the donation. Thanks to Big Cheese for the donation. Brother David, and also brother, the no-name brother, I can't mention his name, Mr. CC. Like I said, family, please, everybody, I'm gonna say this every show, please. And I'll be on this weekend and do both my shows Friday and Saturday. Please, I'm begging you guys, everybody go get your passport. Please. I got something planned special for the beginning of the year. Okay? Just go get your passports, please. I'm begging you. Go get your passports. Please.
Your passports, period. No, please.
That's right. Period. Get your passports out. Period. I'm sorry that your boy I'm not telling you not to go listen to him. I'm just telling you that's a charlatan phony. I'm not saying no, you're free to listen to who you want to listen to. But no, Dan Calloway's full of shit. All you gotta do is go to Africa and talk to those people on the coast. All up and down those 12, 13 countries right there. Those stories are known. Period. I'm Dan Calloway. I stay here talking to 10 speed, trying to make my YouTube dollars. Period. What's up, family?
See you guys tomorrow. Can you download the app to find me tomorrow?
Remember tomorrow Joby's gonna be doing the music show. Tomorrow Joby's gonna be doing The culture show where she jams.
Yeah. Miss out, that's your problem.
It's been pretty good because I ain't had to listen to a bunch of reggae lately.
Wow.
My cash app is right there. My cash app is right there. Email, see it right there. It says at Mr. Black High Fire. Right there. Cash app, number sign, Mr. Black High Fire. Cash app, number sign, Mr. Black High Fire.
So yeah, much love. See you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a beautiful day. Peace. Have yourself a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day.
Okay, Jim Mosquito, I appreciate it. I know you got your passport, Jim Mosquito. You got to go back and forth to Ghana, so you got your passport already, Jim Mosquito. We're gonna bring you to Kenya so we can smack you in the mouth for running around England all the time.
Much love, family. Out.